Hello, hello, my green skin, and the last episode of the Married with Children. This has been a little bit of a trial for us. Oh, this was a bugger for me because I started watching episodes quite a lot, and I'm kind of gonna be a part of me loves watching Married with Children. Like there's nothing on TV right now for me to watch, like other than YouTube videos. I'm really not interested in anything else, and I'm pissed off that my favorite show got taken off Amazon, so I had to do an episode.
I
And
I think it's on Hulu.
yeah, but I don't care if it's on Hulu. I can't have Hulu. I'm Canadian. It doesn't matter what it's on. I was able to watch it on one streaming service, and this is why I say to people: get your backups, get your covers. Make sure to have everything on some sort of format other than their format because they don't give a shit and they will remove stuff randomly if they want to. I'm sick of that. All right. So, Peggy versus everybody or Peggy versus the world. Now, Katie Siegel as a whole, do not, from what we're going to say, do not take this anything. If you ever hear this, don't take this to a negative heart. I actually think you're an amazing actress, and you've acted several characters I like. So, with that being said, Peggy.
Peggy. Her iconic
Wow,
name.
this character. Yeah, Peggy Wanker, aka Peggy Bundy. This is a character that I don't like when you talk about Marcy being the villain, I'm like, no, Peggy's the villain. Like I make the joke that she's like every seven deadly sin rolled into one. If you think about it, she is. You have your wrath, some of the stuff she does to people. You have her jealousy. You have pride. You have gluttony. You have sloth. So we're getting up there, right? Greed.
Oh yeah.
So we're yeah, pretty much literally. She's almost. I think it what's the I can't remember the last one. What's the last one for seven deadly sins? So like
Let's see.
she is
Pride,
almost
sin, gluttony,
pride.
wrath,
Yeah, she is almost
lust.
every sin. Lust. Yeah, she has almost all seven. She has all seven sins in one person, and she is nasty as a character. Like it just mean spirited character. That's kind of the point. That's why I love her as a character. But she's rough. Like I still love the seat. Like how many times do you hear her say, "Oh yeah, I really had a good time, going and getting that Graham Slam bacon pancake meal." And they're sitting there starving, looking for an M&M on the floor, or they're eating an insect, or they're cooking a dead decapitated fish like goldfish. It's like Jesus hell, like it's just kind of funny, right? Like, wow, what a character. So what do you think, Dark, about the legend?
I mean, I think that she. It's funny that she lives in this crappy house with a crappy family, yet she seems to suffer the least. And I guess it's all crappy because she is the reason why they suffer. She doesn't take care of them. She's just the laziest person in the world. She doesn't carry her weight. She just but she is so weird as a character. There are times where she finds Al repulsive, but at the same time
Mhm.
she doesn't want to leave him for anyone else. But at the same time, she wants to be around other guys, as you see in the picture here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She is actually quite an interesting character. She is where Marcy's, a product of environment. She is like we've talked about, the ultra feminist kind of took it to the extreme. If you really want to look at Marcy, and one of my favorite things is the book keep them down, keep them down, keep them down, a woman's guide to happiness. That's the type of person she is. Peggy, however, is a complete opposite. And she doesn't want to work. She doesn't want to do anything to help out. And although she does do stuff nicely every once in a while, it's like everybody else kind of follows the monarch. Like I jokingly call her the monarch because that's what she is. She is that person that literally rules the roost. And it's just kind of a crazy character from episodes of her outright looting to the famous yard sale episode, which is freaking funny. That yard sale episode makes me laugh. And it's like, yeah, I bought a new item just for, she's like, oh, we did this, buy me. And there's like the statue of a guy. I can't, buy me. It's like, okay, that's the type of person Peggy is. It's, there are more episodes of that show of Peggy starting drama and everyone having to deal with it, if you think about it, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
She does
She
something that
is,
causes problems that needs to be resolved
yeah,
for the rest
yeah.
of the episode.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing about it. And that was the really funny thing about doing a lot of extra stuff, that she's basically a weapon, like a weapon grade nuclear warhead sometimes with them. Like the funny thing is that she's, how to put it. I love the character because the character is an interesting character, but at the same time, you have someone that's just the way Peggy is. She is not a nice human being. It's in a lot of ways. Like the way she treats her kids, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go bleach her hair. Oh, she has a temperature. Oh, I'll get some bleach and bleach her hair later. I'm like, I don't think she needs that there, Peggy. It's just like kind of interesting some of the stuff she does. What do
A
you
bit.
think about the fact that she's pretty much the main antagonist to a lot of the episodes?
I I think the way it was handled was just genius. It was funny. It was. I mean, there are times where, and I wouldn't, and I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, if they don't get me feeling angry at her, then they're not doing their job as writers, the writers of the show.
And
She is supposed to
the
be
funny,
unbearable and frustrating, and
well, no, that's the funny thing. She still loves Al, and she still cares for Al, and vice versa. Like everyone loves her, and she does. But it's like someone who just can't. She has no impulse control. Is the best way to put it. To be the devil's advocate, she is someone that just has no impulse control. She just has to be selfish. She just has to be greedy. She just has to be. Like she buys Tubor in one of the episodes, the
that
Chinese or Tibetan god. She
yeah,
just kind of mean spirited. It's what I like about Peggy. Peggy's one of those characters I really did enjoy for that, and she just added to the show a lot. And Katie Siegel hit it out of the fucking park a lot.
I loved when
Uh,
that episode of Futurama, they referenced the show by having Leela play.
Ow!
Yeah,
Yeah, that was great. That was really good. And that's the thing. A lot of the one-liners come from her. Thanks the kids. Thank your dad, kids.
thanks,
You know,
Dad.
yeah. And they do a lot of stuff with her. Like they amazing writing, and that's something that now that we're moving out of the Peggy stuff, we're gonna move to the epilogue here, and like that is the writing of the show, right? This is a solid 7 show. If we were to give this a review, I can't think of a single season where I went, well, this sucks.
I mean, I can think of episodes where I go, this sucks, but full seasons, no. It was
No,
it
no,
was all great.
it's Yeah, to break this down, every episode would be a pain in the butt, and this would be a long like we'd be doing videos for ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are a lot of great episodes, and she's always been all the characters in this show. This show is a well, I call her she because the show is she because that's literally how I feel. But it's like watching. It's almost a great show, and it had so much like heart to it in a lot of ways. Like as much as we say Peggy has her stuff, and she's really like dark to everybody else. She's amazing in other ways, right? Like it's just kind of great on that one, and the writers hit this show out of the park. I can't think of there are a handful of shows. This show in South Park for comedies for me, where I won't want to skip an episode. And very few comedy shows make me not want to skip an episode. There's quite a few episodes out of Frasier. I'm just like, yeah, if I never had to see it again, I'd be really happy.
Mm, I mean, no, for me, there are episodes I could do without, but there's so
Mhm.
few and there's so few and far between. It's like, but I certainly have favorites. Ones I would definitely want to
Yeah,
watch again and again.
yeah. And what would those episodes be?
Um, One of them, anything with no ma'am, and I mean like when they're there for a full episode when it's about them. Those are among my favorites.
Uh,
That's one
I've
example.
been a no, no. I would. Psycho Dad was one of my favorites.
That one too.
The
That's definitely
episode,
up there.
yeah, the episode with Anthrax is also quite fun. The Peggy, some of the Peggy family episodes are actually really fun. But there are so many good episodes. Like I can't think of a season like a show that just has this many good episodes. Yeah, and it's just kind of great, right?
Yeah, it's just well, now that I've got it on, I've got all the episodes. I have it all. I can watch it anytime I want, and that's frequent. But it's one of those shows before streaming, before uh, digital media of any kind. When it was on TV, I gotta watch it. I even wanted to tape
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I feel the same way. It's quite well done, and it's sad that other issues have come up, but it was such a good show.
Do you
I
think the
really,
show had
really
a proper ending?
what?
That's one of the biggest talking points of the show. One of the biggest controversies.
No, no, I really didn't. But again, did we really need an ending? Like, I hate to say it, an ending can ruin a series. And this show, I think, had a little bit of everything that was good about it. And it ends on a basic meh. It ends in a whimper. And sometimes it's better to end in a whimper than it is to end in this loud bang. Like a great episode for that is I am aversely against the Seinfeld final episodes. Like I really don't like that final episode. I don't know if you
Definitely
feel the
not their
same way,
best.
but no, it's not. And it's just like to find out that all the characters, spoiler alert, coming up, spoiler, the fact that all of them get arrested at the end and end up in jail is silly in my mind. For doing nothing, they end up in jail. Yeah, come on. So yeah, it's just the way it is, right?
Yeah,
It's how do you feel about the last episode? Do you think we should have got one big blow up episode?
I think I don't know. Like I they left it open ended. It's just that particular episode. Like you're going out with that episode where Kelly gets
Yeah,
was gonna get married, but She ends up,
Doesn't. Yeah,
but instead she ends up sleeping with all the guys that came to the wedding.
yeah, and that's an interesting episode to end on. As a whole, it was a great. I don't know. Like I said, that's an interesting question. I would rather not have it end bad. See, I'd rather have a meh ending than a shit ending, and this is not a shit ending. It's a meh ending. Like a good series can a good series with a good ending makes you remember a but a good series with a bad ending will make you want to forget. Like that's the worst case scenario, right? You don't want a crappy ending because that's what everyone will remember. Oh yeah, that show sucked because of XYZ ending. And so I think, yeah, I liked it. I think overall it was good. I think Peggy, and as this being the last bit of our last little big tribute, and that Peggy being the last one, wow, what a character! When you understand what she does and how she does and some of the stuff she does, like if you actually think about it, the seventh season, for example, where they throw all the kids out and they're freezing out in the middle of the cold because Seven has a cold, and then she literally forgets Seven, and then Seven disappears. Like that was my ultimate indicator that Peggy has problems. I mean, she takes this child in, and then I know why they ended up just getting rid of him is because of, he was not a liked character. He had the what's his face there, Wesley Crusher effect on the show. But it was kind of funny to it's like, yeah, she completely forgot who he was. You know, there's a scene there where it's like, hey, remember Seven? Who? Seven. We had it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, wow, she actually did that.
I yeah. Well, I'm glad he's gone.
Oh
Overall,
yeah, he was not a liked character, but
still, yeah. Peggy made the show.
oh, she did. And Katie Siegel is an amazing actress. Like we can't. I don't want to poo poo on a really great actress that actually did a great job, and I enjoyed her through the whole thing. What like one end to the other. She's the reason that show was amazing.
But but to bring another point, you remember the first episode? Well, the first season, how she was
Yeah,
very different.
she was. Oh, it is very different. Like it turned like that's what I'm saying. As time went on, she became a monster in a lot of ways. Like I would even go as far as saying just the change was so drastic. Like the fact that there's what I do on my birthday is like, oh yeah, I go have a feast at such and such and all this stuff, and then they're sitting there for Al and Seven's birthday, and they're sitting on their birthday eating a hot dog. Yet she went to a buffet feast and had the snowbirds freaking fly by or whatever they're called there. Um, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's like, oh hi Peggy. It's like, yeah, and that's the thing about her. It just kind of the funny thing about the character. She just has it's as a whole, and that's the funny thing. It's such a dark show, but it had so much fun characters, and it does have heart. Like Peggy is a character with heart, as much as she could be a monster in some ways. Like everyone was a shade of gray. That's the best way to say it. They seemed more realistic than anything else I ever saw that was on TV at the time. I don't know if you agree, but you know, for a show that was outlandish as this, because it got bad. There's the episode where Bud ends up a VR girlfriend and all the other, like, it got kind of silly. Yeah, it got
Oh, the
kind of
VR
silly. The VR
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
They predicted the
Yeah,
future.
they did predict the future there. Like I said, it has predicted the future. Like another good example of them predicting the future is the episode where Al gets the idea to put lights on his shoes. Oh, like that didn't fucking that wait, that did happen. So Yeah, no, great show.
Great show.
And
You gave it a seven.
yeah.
I'm taking up to 8.5.
Well, I gave it a 7 overall, and that's the entire series.
Yeah, I see what you
Because,
did
like,
there.
yeah,
7.
uh, yeah, I know. Overall, anything else you want to add to this great show that honestly is a much must watch. If you want a good TV show, I hate to say it, I'm not watching Netflix right now. I'm not watching Amazon Prime. I was watching Married with Children. I'm going to go to another show. What do you think? What do you think? As final thoughts, what's your last thing about this show? What do you want to add?
I think this is a show made for a generation with how to say this nicely.
90s.
I Yeah, 90s. Let's go with 90s. Uh
Yeah, this was a very 90s show. You know what? This is a show that it's timeless. I actually would go as far as say, even though it's a show about the 90s, even though there's a lot of like technology that exists, I actually could say that someone could watch this show and still think it's good.
yeah, I agree. It's
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything in there that should detract or confuse anyone who's not familiar with the VCR.
yeah, yeah. Even that, if you didn't know what a VCR or Betamax was, it's still not a bad show. As a whole, great show, and that's all I got to say. If you want to add anything, last words, man. Final last thought. I'll give it to you.
Nope. I've pretty much said my piece.
Same here. Great show, worth a watch. Thank you very much. We're not sure what we're going to be doing. I think we're going to take a little break, kind of figure out what we want to do here. We got a couple ideas. I don't know if we want to do another big freaking jump dive. I think we're going to take a little break. Probably, maybe our next show will be probably Judge Dredd. This Sylvester Stallone versus the old versus new, which would be a fun episode, two-parter type of thing. And yeah, we'll call maybe a 3 videos there. There we go. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. Thank you as always, my editor in chief, Dark. And Dark has a video out about Michael Jackson and on his Gumtree. And there we go. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and have yourself a very good day.